All right. Yo, I'm back. I look like shit. I've gained 10 pounds and I had a severe allergic reaction to some food my in laws took me to go eat. We went to a. So, for those that don't know, I was in China for 2 weeks. I got back just now, just a few hours ago. I thought, uh, honestly, I thought herpes. And then I went to the doc. I'm going to go tomorrow actually and get a second opinion, but it looks like a severe allergic reaction to some food that I ate. They um, they killed the fish and the duck in front of us or near us. We could watch it happen if we wanted to. I didn't want to. And then they cooked it and fed us, and it did not. It was not good. So I've been dying for like a week. Mm. But I did just get back from China. This is a multi-stream. I should be doing X as well, but for some reason X didn't go. So right now it's just on Twitch and um, uh, YouTube. I'm gonna try to fix that soon. We are gonna be doing multi-streams from now on, and we are gonna be doing some other things. Mostly gonna be doing debate stuff from now on out. From here on out, we're gonna be watching debates live, commentary on debates, and we'll be doing debate reviews as my main videos on YouTube, and then the live streams will mostly be talking about debate stuff uh, for the near future. But today is not that day. Today is we're going to talk about my trip, see if anyone shows up in the room. I doubt it. And doop, 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 doop. Oh, Twitch is also not working right now. Grant permission. Whatever. What's going on? Yeah, authorized. What's going on with that? Yeah, I'm authorizing it. Come on, go, go, go. There we go. Okay. Anyway, that's where were we? So I want to talk about first off. I did go. I didn't attend mass while I was there. I'm Catholic, for those that don't know. But I did go to two churches just to go check them out. Um, we actually ended up in a old French quarter in Guangzhou, which is weird because I didn't know that existed. I'm part French. For those that don't know, my yes, I know. Shh, quiet. My dad is French and Spaniard, specifically Sephardic. So I'm like, on my dad's side, I'm half Jewish, half French. And on my mom's side, we're Native American and French. So I'm half French and half Native American. So I'm like mostly French. Not important at all in any kind of way. But in the French Quarter, I did go to a Catholic church and I bought this to support the church there. It's the New Testament in it's the New Testament in Chinese, in Mandarin. Um, it's written in the old style, so this is not how Chinese people read Chinese anymore. Just let you know. They're very advanced and they don't do that kind of stuff anymore. It's like 30 years ago, maybe still. But my stepson and my wife could read it, but they're like, nobody reads like that. So mostly they read like this now. And they go and they do pretty much here. So this is how they read nowadays. So it's linear, and it's also left to right now. It's no longer it's so you like that. It's not the other way. So right to left, left to right. I don't know. I'm super tired. But yeah, I went to this little church, a little chapel, and I bought a bunch of stuff. And well, I bought the Bible, and then I took the free stuff. It's just cool. This is the one that I went to. Last time I was there, I actually attended mass at a historical site. But the thing is that a lot of the masses are actually just actors recreating. It's like cosplay. So I didn't know if this was an active church or not, so I didn't attend. I probably should have, but I didn't. And got a little abacus. I got a bunch of like little crap. this time. Last time I went to China, I went to all the real places and did all the important stuff, and Bayou Mountain and a bunch of temples, and I got no souvenirs. This time I went to all the BS places, but I got a bunch of souvenirs and stuff for people. This one's beautiful. Check this out. It's not real jade. It's the tourist stuff. My wife was very intentional on us only purchasing the cheap crap. So yeah, but that's cool. As a martial artist, this is super awesome to have. I got a little Chinese flag for those of you switching over to Red Note. Here you go. I don't know how this is going to play on Twitch. This really isn't a Twitch style stream, so I don't even know why I'm multi streaming there tonight, but I am. I should be streaming right now to X actually, which is where I really should be streaming. But that's okay. Um, I like this one. This one's cool. My wife said this one fits me, but I was like, I'm not gonna wear it. This is like a door knocker. I'm gonna put it. I think I'm gonna put it in my gym. I think I'm gonna put the green one in my gym actually, and then put this one in my room, or maybe vice versa, because this one looks really cool. Maybe this one in my gym, this one in my room. I have an area over here which is perfect for that. Check out the little. Oh, this is cheap crap. This is like one run, which is like less than a penny uh, in China. All this stuff is less than a penny, but it was still pretty cool. Here's the church that I went to again. And I think this is a cool bookmarker of it. I have a really cool photo of Mother Teresa next to the Chinese flag. It's a really cool. It's like whoa, like mind blowing how weird that is. But yeah, going forward, we're going to be multi streaming from now on, and we're all going to be doing. I'm going to focus mostly on X and on Facebook. And Facebook X and on YouTube. Nobody's on Facebook anymore. And I do want to talk about a few things that happened while I was away. Just kind of brief coverage. But first, let's talk about China. Let's go through that a little bit. Um, for those that don't know, I was about to get divorced, and my wife told me to come to. Well, first she told me not to come to China. Then she told me to come to China, and I went. I went on a few days notice. I was supposed to be moving there a few months ago or a month ago, and then the divorce happened, so I didn't move. And then she changed her mind all of a sudden, and I didn't wait, so I just went. So there was no prep, and that ended up being a huge problem because if you don't know, China is a walking city. I went to China and I went to Hong Kong because I told her if I'm going to do the China thing again, because I've been to China before, I wanted to do the tourist thing and do a more popular city. So I did, and that was a disaster because I'm completely out of shape and out of condition. Give me a sec. Okay, so that was a complete disaster. My legs are not conditioned at all. So if you don't know, I used to be a personal trainer. Now I'm a fat guy, but I used to be a personal trainer, and I used to run 6 miles a day, and I used to once a week go for a 6 hour to 8 hour hike. Um, the shortest hike I did when I was in that kind of shape was 4 hours. So me running around Guangzhou last time and going outside of the city and going up the mountains was easy. Going to the temples was easy. This time, it's for the last year I've been taking care of my dad full time and working a part time job. Uh, the furthest I walk is from my room to my dad's room and back. That's all I do. This was a nightmare. Every mile I had to stop and rest my legs and drink water. Oh my gosh, they don't drive anywhere. And there's cars all over the road. Like, don't get me wrong, people drive, but for the most part, people walk. It's like New York. It's like we're like, yeah, the traffic's so bad, the congestion's so bad, they just walk everywhere. And I did this for 2 weeks, so hopefully my legs are in condition now. So whenever I get this allergic reaction taken care of, I'm going to start running every day because the plan is to move back. So here's the big news flash for my audience on YouTube who actually knows who I am, and TikTok, where am I right now? On Twitch. I don't know what, if you're watching this on Twitch, I am so sorry. This is going to be terrible content. You are not going to have a good time. Feel free to not watch and come back later when I have more uh, Twitch friendly content. um, so I go there. First the first 2 hours, 3 hours, she's completely cold to me. So I get there, I get to China. She doesn't pick me up at the airport. Um, so I have to guess how to get home. Mind you, I haven't been home in like 2 years, 2.5 years. We've been separated for a year, and then the year before that, she lived here in America. So it's been 2 years since I've been home. More than 2 years since I've been home. So I have no clue where I'm going or what I'm doing, and I have to navigate in Mandarin. It's a bizarre thing. So it happens when you're coming out of mainland, and it happens when you're going into mainland, which is you hear English. Hong Kong speaks English. Just to be very clear, if you only know English in Hong Kong, you'll survive. Uh, Nothing bad will happen. They might kick you off a bus, like almost happened to me, but you're not gonna starve. You're not gonna not have a place. Enough people speak English in Hong Kong that you're completely fine. It's British English, but it's English. when you when you when you get to the customs and you walk past the border, uh, English just stops, and on the way back in, English starts up again. So when English stops, you're done. Like there's you can't go to anyone. People want to talk to you in English, they do, but the the level of English that they have is not comprehensible either for them or for you. So you're on your own, and I had to find my way home. And then I get to the um, I hadn't slept for 2 days. I did a hard workout before anything happened, and then um, my flight got changed for some reason, and then there's stuff related to the California fires because I had to fly out of California and I had to fly out. My flight got delayed because there was a flight problem. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. So what was going to be a 22-hour flight turned into a 38-hour flight, and I was destroyed. Like not only did I not sleep the night before I left, not only did I do a hard workout the day before, I had nothing. So I was miserable. And she picks me up at the bullet train station. So I take the express train to the bullet train. From the bullet train, I take it to, they don't call it a bullet train, but that's what it is. I take the bullet train into Guangzhou. And I get out and she's not there. And I'm like, oh my crap, I'm gonna take a taxi. I don't have any money in my WeChat account. And if you don't know, they don't do cash in mainland. Everything's done through WeChat or through Alipay. And I get there. She's not there. My legs are dead. I can't move. I'm exhausted. And she calls me. She's like, "Hey, I'm here at the train station. I'll pick you up." And I'm like, "Thank God." Uh, but she's being cold. She picks me up. She's happy that I'm there, but she's still being cold. Like we're not hugging, nothing. And we get to the apartment, and about 2 hours into being the apartment, where I'm just being nice. I'm not arguing with her. I'm not anything. I'm just happy to be there. I'm happy to see my. The last time I was there was under construction, so I was happy to see everything that we had planned done. And so I think the last time I was there was 2020. So it was 2020. Then she came here during the lockdown. She had to leave early. No, she had. Though that time she stayed longer. Then she went back. Then she came back again, and then she lived here for a little while. And then um, she tried taking care of my dad. My dad has Alzheimer's. She couldn't handle it. We had an argument about it, and she got on a plane and left. So my marriage has been on the rocks for over a year, and that's it. So I hadn't seen my home there since then. And it's beautiful. It's on the 25th floor. It's in a neighborhood. Neighborhood, if you don't know, is a bunch of different high rises uh, that kind of form a circle. And there's different neighborhoods all next to each other. This is not the business section, but if you don't know what Asia or China looks like, it looks like a business section. And these are just sky rises. And the population of these neighborhoods are the same as some small cities and large towns in America. Okay. So these are not small populations. This is like each neighborhood is like anywhere from 100,000 people to 200 to 300,000 people. I mean, you're talking these huge sky rises with like 1,000 people each. And you have like, so for instance, I'm on the 25th floor. We're on the most expensive apartment in that complex, in that building, I should say. The building over, there's a more expensive apartment, which my in-laws happen to live in. And it's a very nice place. It's very beautiful. It looks like I'm having trouble broadcasting somewhere. Okay, for X, I need to purchase an account. Crap, I don't have money. So she's cold to me for 2 hours. But I'm not arguing with her. I'm not doing anything. I'm ready to sign the divorce papers. But I made the trip. Like I did it. Like, we were gonna do it over the computer, and went to go do it in person. And then she hugs me out of nowhere, and she starts laughing and smiling. Um, and from there, the ice just breaks. Um, and we start talking. She doesn't. We don't get directly into the heavy stuff. So day one ends up being we go see my in-laws. We have a good meal with me and my. Well, actually, no, I don't see my stepson till the second day. So we just end up staying at the apartment for some of that time. But then she takes me out on a some kind of adventure thing, which I was not really looking forward to. And the next day that'll be a disaster. But at least that night we were okay. And she cooks for me. She's never cooked. Um, Is there a question of whether or not she cheated on me for the 1 year that we were apart? Yeah, there were hints, there were red flags, there were. Um, Hence, I thought this was something else. I'm very glad that the doctor told me it was an allergic reaction, but like I said, I'm still going to get a second opinion just to be sure. Um, but yeah, that all happens, and we call it a night. And then the next day, she's in love with me. So the ice breaks. She does the wife thing, which my wife is not a wife thing kind of person. She's a very professional woman. Um, but she does the cooking. She washes my clothes, which is not something she does. Um, she she's treating me like a very honored guest, which is again not her personality. We've had guests before. I understand how the Chinese thing goes. You give a gift, you treat them well, but that's kind of the end. The next day, like we're back to being a couple. We still haven't talked about the divorce. We still haven't talked about any of the proceedings or any of the stuff that we were doing. And my she calls my brother-in-law, and she says, "Let's do it. Let's do the whole thing. Like we're gonna show him the whole show." And I was like, "Honey, don't, please. I just want to be here with you. This is why I came. I came for the divorce. I came to either to end the marriage or save the marriage. I did not come for the grand show." And she's like, "No, you're getting the grand show." So we end up going up this mountain. Haven't slept in 3 days. Um, Dehydrated and tired. Like I had a 38-hour flight. There were there was a mechanical problem with the plane, and they kept on trying to fix the plane. So not only did we miss flights, but we were at one point they let us off, and then they let us back on, and they're like, "Look, we're gonna still try to fix the problem. Could you just stay on the plane?" So I was just sitting the whole time. I mean, it wasn't just me, just to be clear. Other people were having leg cramps and they were tired and sore and pissed off too. But from my perspective, like I was miserable. So now it's day two and we're hiking up a mountain after a 2 hour or 4 hour drive to the mountain. So I'm just sitting, more sitting. We get to a place where it's perfect. Like we're like an hour in, maybe 2 hours into the drive. There's a little spot, but my brother-in-law wants to go to the official spot. He doesn't want to go to the place where all the locals are going. And I was like, no, I'd rather go to the local place. I want to hang out with the local people. I don't want the big show. I want the local. Like I want to hang out with the real people and talk to the real people. But he insisted, and so we go to this steep, impossible incline. Mind you, when I do a 2 level incline here at the house on my treadmill, I'm done within 15 minutes. So I am at this point. This is misery. I'm being tortured. I'm like, okay, maybe this is her revenge. But she bears it out with me. She stays with me through my struggling to stay on the mountain. She gets me hydrated. She talks to some crunchy hippie chicks who were driving a Jeep of all things. And the hippie chicks were like, no, you need to do this, this, and this. And she's like, oh, that's what he just told me. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I just told you the same thing that they're saying. Like, I'm not being crazy. This is what you have to do. And so then we start doing the thing, which is the stretching, the massaging of the leg, the drinking tons of water. And uh, it ends up being a good trip for me and her. I probably should show you guys some pictures so you guys can get some ideas. I am going to be posting pictures on Facebook and on Instagram, only because those are not very popular sites. There is some stuff that me and her talked about that is going to affect this channel. It's affected already has. I've privated some videos. We'll talk about that when we get to that point. But let me see. Where do we leave off? So kind of let me show you the gist of this. Okay, there we go. So let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. That's way too far back. What's going on? What's going on, my friend? There we go. All right, so we're on the mountain and things are terrible. The incline's way too steep. The walk is way too long, and my legs give out. These crunchy hippie chicks help us out, which was very nice of them. They didn't have to do that, obviously. And let's see, where are we? Okay, so let's start off with. So this is the train, the bullet train, the express train. I'm sorry. So as you can see, it was very nice. Um, and the video is already up for those who want to see like kind of the general thing that I'm talking about. But I'm gonna share more here than what I would on that trip. If you're going to go to China, you need to know a few things. Number one, they don't do cash there. You need to have WeChat or Alipay. Otherwise, you won't be able to get around. The cash is not a thing. There are some markets that still take cash, but it's very rare. And also, in a lot of the videos, you're going to see a really nice train that they take. My wife booked me tickets on all the worst, all the cheapest flights and all the cheapest everything, and I still came. So I guess that kind of helped change her mind. And then, as you can see, there's the city. Um, this is like the first landmark I see coming in. It's a coin. It's an old ancient Chinese coin turned into a building. They were very proud of it, so they took me by it plenty of times. And this is the first meal I eat on land. It's fast food. It's their version of McDonald's. They have a McDonald's, but it's their version of McDonald's. For those that don't know, if you want American or Western style stuff like deodorant, um, hand soap, stuff like that, things that are not Chinese, like if you need toilet paper, you need this, as they call it, paper. Not that they don't have toilet paper, but by the time that you get to the bathroom, it's already gone. People will just steal everything. And by the way, theft is not allowed there. Anything you can think of that here is like we tolerate, they don't tolerate there. There's no in between. You get caught stealing something that's someone's property, yeah, you're done. But stuff like toilet paper, they don't really care. Just to let you know, there are not bathrooms in the restaurants. Um, some of the higher end restaurants will have bathrooms, but for the most part, it's going to be a public toilet that's like two buildings or three buildings away. There's not a bathroom in every restaurant, and there's not water. They don't serve you drinks, and they don't serve you appetizers. So if you want appetizers, you want drinks, you want a soda, you buy it yourself before you go into the restaurant. It's a different thing. It's a different thing. And then, so anyway, this is my first meal, which is a ripoff of McDonald's. Um, KFC is really big there, but KFC is more about coffee and breakfast, and um, the portions are incredibly small on the Western style restaurant. So you're going to want to order Chinese style takeout because at least that's going to fill you up. Just to give you an idea, this is the apartment. It's a nice little apartment. And let me see, let me move forward here. So here's the real McDonald's. We ended up eating breakfast there twice. They have pretty good breakfast. Um, I thought it was funny. There was a Westerner, and she was there trying to order coffee, and they didn't know what she was saying, and she was asking for the little coffee cup, and you could see her get frustrated. And she was like, I want this little, I want this little thing." And finally, the Chinese woman on the other end just hands her the thing. She walks away all mad. It was funny. So just to give you an idea, these are the bathrooms. They're squat toilets. Yeah, that's a thing. And this is the restaurant that got me sick. Let me be very careful about what I show. So this is the restaurant that got me sick. So they actually, this is on the way to the that mountain. Um, there was so this is day two, and they kill the animal in front of you, or you can watch them kill the animal if you want to. China's really big on fresh food, and they're really big on hot everything. So hot water, hot milk, um, and hygiene is not how it is here in the U.S. So be ready to get sick. Just FYI, get all your vaccinations and be ready to get sick because the public toilets are not going to have a lot of soap. They're just not. And they're going to be out of paper by the time that you get into the bathroom. The paper's gone. So uh, you're just going to have to wash your hands with water, have some hand sanitizer with you, go to a 7-Eleven or go to what is it, Watson's? I think it's called Watson's. And it's a British store, or go to an Australian store that's there, and you'll get Western supplies. If you don't do that, you got to do things the Chinese way. Just FYI, deodorant's not really a thing. So again, 7-Eleven's your go-to place to get deodorant. Um, just if you're a Westerner, find a 7-Eleven. That's the only place you're gonna find the supplies you need, and they're all there. And the price is slightly raised, but it's fine. The exchange rate is really easy for us. So from there, I ate this, and this was they killed the chicken in front of us, and they killed the fish in front of us, and then they cooked it and they served it up. And I accidentally ordered spicy, so originally I thought this was a reaction to the spicy. Um, let's see, and then um, this was actually. Let me show you this. This was my favorite, my second favorite restaurant. This is my breakfast place. And there was another breakfast place right next to it that we went to, and they had this like French bread thing that was amazing. Um, but usually they just have like kind of like a dry bread with egg, if you want, or a yeast powder. I did go to a skate shop, and the guy did speak English, not great English, but good English, and he was awesome. I got some stickers from their shop. I would show them, but I don't know where I have my bag right now. this was a cool experience. We also went to a French Quarter, which I didn't even know existed. So that was awesome. Let me see if I can find a photo of that. Um, let's see, we walked the heart of the city. That's what this is here. So these are business buildings. These aren't neighborhoods. So we walked the heart of the city. That was cool. Let me see. And then we went to the French Quarter, which was awesome. And it looks like the French Quarter in New Orleans, man. It is beautiful. They have the same structure, the same buildings. I went to a Catholic church there. That's where I was going to go to mass if I went to mass, but I didn't go because I didn't trust that it wasn't actors reenacting what a mass looks like, and I don't want to blaspheme. So there you go. Give you an idea. It was very beautiful. It was very beautiful. We went to this cafe place. Oh, the coffee there, man. It was great. Look at this. Look at that. It was amazing. Um, yeah, just a little bit of France in the middle of China. It's a very strange experience. Everyone there was super dressed up. Everyone looked beautiful. And then from there, the next day, we went to a food market, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It was a food market. They had living animals, and they kill them there for you, and then you can go home and have dinner. They had a lot of turtles, which I was very sad about. They had a lot of live animals that they can kill, and they're separated out. So there's like a little restaurant when you come in that actually has really good local dishes, and then you walk into the market and it's mostly fruits and vegetables. And if you're someone who lives in Mexico, or someone who lives in like a Tex-Mex or border town, and you had a market, like my city used to have a market, we don't anymore. It's exactly like that. It's exactly like that. So there's a ton of people. It's all local, and it's really good food, and it's fresh. The big change is when you get to the meat market section. Yeah, there's some dried meats before you get to the actual food, but the rest are in tanks, and they're live animals, livestock, turtles, fish, alive. And if you want to take it home, they'll kill it for you right there. And they're not always humane about it. They don't always cut the head off first. Sometimes they'll start skinning it first. So it's really cruel, to be very blunt. And as someone who lives in America and has HEB, I was not prepared for that at all. I kept my cool, but I was like, whoa. Echo, turn on library. 100%.
Okay.
Echo, set library to 100%.
Okay.
And then we went to Bruce Lee's ancestral home. That was a super big highlight. Me and my wife had now started to bicker and started arguing about the things that we came there to argue about. So the trip itself wasn't fun, but the experience was amazing. I don't know if I don't know if Bruce Lee ever once stepped one foot in this home. Just to be very clear, this is his ancestral home. This is his technically his father's or his grandfather's house, but it was super super cool. It was the highlight of the trip, to be very blunt. Um, and I want one of these. It's like $250. I'm broke. I probably can't afford it, but I want one. And there's me messing around trying to make it happen. I think this is the coolest photo of me throughout the entire trip. Like that's the best I looked throughout the entire trip. I gained 10 pounds when I was there. I was hoping to come back skinnier. I gained 10 pounds. Um, but yeah, so as you can see, very nice, very nice. And then they had this cool little chess go board that looked amazing. But they tried to kind of present it like IP Man's house, which I wonder if IP Man actually lived in Guangzhou. I probably would have liked to have seen that place. But they had like quotes from Chuck Norris and different actors in the house itself. Um, and they had this cool little section here. They had a room that was supposed to demonstrate water, and it's basically just part of the old city. that they then remade into something presentable. So they don't lie about it. So even the French Quarter that I went to, the buildings were destroyed. So this is all like re-establishing or reclaiming a history that they destroyed during the Maoist revolution. So now they're rebuilding these buildings and they make them look amazing. I think they make them look kind of better than what they actually were in ancient times or 200 years ago, or 100 years ago. But what was really interesting, and like I said, they're very honest about it. Like it's not the same. Like you can see the old and the new. You can see the contrast. And then that's give you an idea. Like you're eating all the animal when you get the animal. Um, Let me see. This was a great dessert. Dessert. I like that. I don't know what it is. I didn't question it. I just ate it. Let's see here. And so this is my neighborhood to give you an idea. And it's very beautiful. And like I said, there's about, I don't know, five or six of these structures for each neighborhood. Um, Let me give you a view from the street. And you need to have a face ID to get into the neighborhoods. And you need to, when you get to China, you need to register with the police to tell them where you're staying at. Especially if you're a foreigner, like you can't just go. You have to actually fill out a visitor's card. It's not like that with Hong Kong. With Hong Kong, as a visitor, you can use your passport. Actually, you don't really need a passport, but your passport is enough to get you into Hong Kong, and you can go anywhere. And they give you a little ticket that says you can stay, and you can stay for as long as you want. Hong Kong is super easy, super simple, a lot of walking, and very fast. China mainland's a different story. You got to fill out a visitor card. You got to tell them where you're going to go, and then the person who you're staying with or the hotel that you're staying with needs to register you as an official guest. So it's a different structure, and you need a visa to get into the actual mainland. So you need a passport to get into Hong Kong. You need a visa to get um, into China. Let's see. We went on a picnic to a little park, which was beautiful, honestly. Um, and we stayed there at night as well. I don't really have a photo I can show you. So this is probably around day what? So this is just a few days ago at this point that I'm at on the trip, and that's where we start negotiating if our marriage is going to keep going on. I go teach English at a local school, and the school is a kindergarten and elementary. Um, I need to get more credentials if I want to teach at college. That's fine. I get an offer for 3,000. Well, there's two different offers, 2,000 or $3,000 American a month, and I teach 3 hours a day. Of course, I took the one with the higher offer, and so for $3,000 a month, teaching 3 hours a day, and I would be teaching 5 days a week. That's it. And every 6 months, I'd have to leave the mainland, probably go to the Philippines or wherever, and then come back. I could probably just go to Hong Kong, to be honest with you. My wife hates Hong Kong. She doesn't like the prices. She didn't like the city. I loved Hong Kong, but my legs were dead and tired by the time I got there. We went to Victoria Point, Peak. I'm sorry, Victoria Peak. She kept calling it Point. But part of the deal was that I had to take down her video that we did together on YouTube. She doesn't want anything to do with fame or fortune or any of that kind of stuff. She likes money, but yeah. And so that's me at Victoria Peak. And Victoria Peak was beautiful. So yeah, it's a very nice place. I didn't really capture it. I didn't capture it in the video that I uploaded to my YouTube channel, but that's okay. We went to an art museum that I really loved. She hated the art museum, by the way. in Hong Kong, but I loved it. It was beautiful, and they had a really nice bathroom that I was really glad to be in a Western bathroom again, and it was better than the bathrooms here in the U.S. To be honest about it. But part of the negotiation is that I do need to return within a year, and I do need to take one of the offers that I got to teach. That's non-negotiable. I have to do that. And while I'm here, I need to go back to work in corporate, and I need to put my dad in a assisted living facility. That's what we negotiated. I don't have to sell the house, thank God. So I can rent it out or do whatever I want to do with it. We can use it as a summer home because, like I said, every 6 months I have to leave China. I can't stay there permanently. Um, and then from there, once we agreed on the negotiations, she didn't really give up much, to be very honest about it. So my negotiating skills need some work because she gave up very little in the compromise that we came up with. But like I said, the marriage was done. So the fact that she capitulated at all on anything um, or compromised at all on anything is amazing, including going to Hong Kong. That was part of the deal. Part of the deal of us getting back together is that I demanded she go to Hong Kong with me. But she didn't take me all the way to the airport. She put me on a bus, and the bus wouldn't take WeChat because Hong Kong's different um, than China mainland. So she had to download an app. We were holding up the line. It was very embarrassing, which is exactly what I was trying to avoid. She paid for my bus ticket, and that was it. I left. On the way back, there was no major delays. We're actually early, which was cool. Um, but the flight back to my hometown was on a like basically a private jet, a commuter, not even a commuter, like smaller, like a maybe it sat 20 people, 40 people max. Every seat was filled up. One row was only one seat. The other row was two seats. The the steward, I guess, uh, was probably the coolest steward of all of them. He was awesome as a flight attendant. He was great. He was probably the best one. But he doesn't have to deal with a whole plane of people. He has to deal with a small plane of people. So it wasn't a mega jet or anything like that. It was very tiny. It was very scary. Everyone was like, "Oh my goodness!" But the flight was great. I came back into town, and now I'm dealing with my dad's caretaker. I still got to deal with taxes, and I got to deal with the house tax and a whole bunch of other stuff, which is not fun to come back to. And there were some issues with the person who took care of him, but my dad's okay. My house is okay. My cats are okay. I'll find the money to pay the taxes. But I have to, as part of the deal, I got to go back to a corporate job, and I have to say yes to one of the offers to teach in China. It's $3,000 a month for about 3 hours of work a day, and I get to travel and I get the weekends off. So very cool, very cool. I'm very happy with the offer that I got, and I'm very happy with the compromise me and my wife came to. So outside of that, that was the trip. That took me 43 minutes to retell basically the whole story. We went to about one major place a day, except for one day where I got us to just chill out at the house together with each other, and that's the day when we negotiated everything. And my marriage is okay for at least another year, but if I don't return to China, that won't be the case. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. Um, Quick channel updates for my YouTube channel. Yes, I did watch all the Westhouse stuff, all of his appearances, all the debates, including the two big interviews, the Joe Rogan and the whatever the other guy's interview was. I did watch. I did see all that unfold. I am currently watching Kip Davis do his analysis on Wes's misstatements. Pretty much Cameron Batuzzi, of all people, said what I was going to say in response to Wes. So I don't have to make that video anymore. Wes just fell into apologetics and couldn't pull himself out of it. Once he hit apologetic mode, he was bullshitting. He was talking about word for word accuracy. That is not a scholarly term. That is not a Catholic term. That is Protestant. That's a Protestant apologetical term, and it needs to get out of the lexicon. It needs to be thrown out of words that we use in apologetics. It's not a good word. It's not an effective word, and it's BSy. It's just not true. It fudges the truth. It's overreaching. So yeah, that's an issue. What else? What else do I want to say? Um, yeah, so going forward, we are still going to be doing live streams. But it's going to be more focused on debates. I will be still doing videos. It's going to be more focused on debate reviews. There will be some still anti apologetics on this channel. And there's still going to be some, if you want to call it apologetic material on here as well. As I still have some videos to do on my faith. I did all the major ones. I finished the big one, which was Why I Believe in God. We're going to get into why I'm not an atheist, why I'm not an anti theist. That's going to be the next series for this coming year. That's going to be ongoing. But yeah, I'm going to do those videos why I'm not agnostic, why I'm not an atheist, why I'm not an anti-theist, and then I'm going to say why I'm not a Calvinist. Because I did the why I'm not a Calvinist video and those before, but now that I know more. And then the other series that we're going to do is debunking myself. We're going to look at videos I made 7 years ago, 8 years ago when I first started talking religion on this channel, and we're going to update those videos, and then I'm going to delist the videos from the previous ones now that my updated views are going to be shown. They're not going to be deleted, but they're going to be updated, and I will be correcting all of my errors. As I say, you need to constantly deconstruct and reconstruct. Don't buy into the BS. Don't buy into the fear of people like Ruslan and Gavin Ortland who are going to tell you not to think critically. You need to think critically all the time, and you need to readapt your old presumptions and adjust them to your new information, your new knowledge, and that includes reconstruction. So if you're going to deconstruct, you need to reconstruct constantly. And Protestants are so scared of that, but they themselves are saying you have to constantly reform, so they shouldn't be scared of it because it's the same concept. They're just scared of a word, they're scared of an idea, they're scared of people leaving their religion. So whatever. I don't have that fear, um, and we're gonna talk more about that. And I understand that a lot of people view it as well. If they're not against us, they're with us, and I get it. But a lie cannot defend the truth, and if someone's lying to defend a truth, then that's a problem. And that's the last thing I want to end on. On the way back, I ended up flying with someone in my wife's situation, the situation she was when I met her, which is, I guess they just got divorced. They're going to fly to America where they have one friend. My wife had zero friends, but they had one friend, and they're going to explore America. And when she asked me why I was considering living in China, I said that, I was married, and she asked if we had a kid, and I said yes. We don't have a kid. I don't know why I lied. I have a stepson who's my wife's son, the biological son of the previous marriage. And I said he was my kid. Now you can romanticize it and say I was trying to, say how much I love him, and I didn't want to have to explain away our relationship. No, I was embarrassed that my son, my stepson, is not my biological son, and so I lied and said he was mine. Um, and so that's kind of pathetic, because a lie twists the truth. And that's the audiobook that I was listening to on the way to and the way from, which was "We Who Wrestle with God" by Jordan Peterson. So expect a review of that book coming up soon. And that's it. That's everything. Like I said, there's going to be some major changes happening in my life, but the stream is sticking around. We're just going to change focus slightly from anti apologetics to debate. And we're going to continue with the book reviews, continue with the um, debate reviews, and continue the live streams. They're going to be shorter and they're going to be a little earlier, but they're going to keep going. So, anyway, good night. Thank you all. I appreciate you guys